Welcome to Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. I'm Steve Swat with the Sacramento Report, and in the next few minutes we're going to talk about Republican strategy during the current legislative session. My guest this segment is Curt Hagman, who's a member of the State Assembly, the Republican floor leader from Chino Hills. Thanks very much for being with us.
Great to be back here.
So as you know all too well, Republicans have fewer than 1/3 of the members in the State Assembly. And I guess my question is, does that take the pressure off?
Well, I still think there's a valuable role for Republicans, and I wish we had more checks and balances in our system than we do right now. But our role is to kind of keep what we feel is the best for California moving forward, and job creation is number one goal for us. And we like what the Democrats come out and say right now. Our job is to make sure they follow through what they say.
What are they saying that you like?
Well, the governor came out and said fiscal constraint. We want to remove some regulation. We want to make California more competitive with other states for our business community. We want to freeze on tuition hikes, all these different kind of things that came out in the state. We believe in the same part. It's different than saying one thing versus actually doing something about it. So obviously we'll introduce our bill package to try to foster those goals, as well as oppose anything that we feel that doesn't fit those goals, and hopefully our voices are heard still.
The Democrats are talking fiscal restraint. I don't think they want to overreach and get the voters angry at them, even though they have 2/3 and can pass taxes, for example, urgency measures without Republican help. But we are starting to see some bills coming out of the Democratic caucus that, for example, chip away at Proposition 13, not the home ownership part, but the commercial property, for example, and making it a little bit easier to pass local bonds and taxes.
No, absolutely. Spit roll tax has been on the agenda for many years for Democrats to allow commercial properties to be taxed at current market value, unlike what Prop 13 is. But we got to remember, for all of us to know, that we're the highest tax state, by far, not in property tax, but cumulative of our income tax and stuff. We do have plenty of money to run government on right now. What we should be focused on is, again, trying to make our business community run nice and strong. You don't do that by raising their property tax on commercial. That gets passed on to their operating costs, get passed on to be even less competitive here in the state. But there's a lot of things we do find in common. Like we're looking at CEQA reform, for one, that we've been pushing for many years, that the Democrats are now talking that being the #1 reform this year. So we're hopeful that we can help contribute to that and actually get California working again.
And the freeze in tuition, Governor Brown is trumpeting that. That's been Republican legislative efforts for a number of years.
Well, the whole mantra for passing Proposition 30 was for education. So we're saying if you got that money for the next 7 years, you shouldn't raise tuition for the next 7 years as well. Use that money to what we promised the taxpayers for, so we introduced a bill to freeze it for the next 7 years as well. For higher education, not let it go up, so we're hoping to get that out.
You mentioned a small business and the business community. There are a number of Democrats in the Assembly, for example, who are considered moderate Democrats, pro-business Democrats. Can you see the Republican caucus and these moderate Democrats getting together to actually move legislation forward and be successful?
Yes, I'm hoping that this is the year for that. At least, sometimes it takes us years to talk about something before it comes up and we actually start taking action. I'm very optimistic this year that maybe some of those actions can be taking place. We've been preaching this on the floor and running our own bills, but with the current makeup, and now, especially I think the new dynamics with 12 years in office for the new people who just got elected. We have a big class. 38 out of 80 members are brand new to the job in the Assembly. They don't have to worry about switching jobs in a few years. They could do what they believe is the right thing and actually work on some really sound policy to take out some of the rules and regulations and make it a little more easier to get businesses done here.
Well, fascinating. Thank you, Curt Hagman, very much for coming by and talking about really the Republican role as we move forward. Appreciate it. And thanks to our viewers for watching Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. A reminder, you can see this and other interviews on YouTube and also on My Government On Demand. I'm Steve Swat. Have a great day.